Now on WRDE Coast TV.
Checking fire damage of a home challenges the Lewis Volunteer Fire Company is facing when it comes to recruitment.
Placing spinning wind turbines offshore of coastal towns, two meetings that are taking place to discuss a wind project.
Speaking of winds, take a live look outside right now, and we're starting to get some progress as far as getting the water to go back. But we have the winds that are prompting an advisory at this hour that I need to alert you to.
Recreational marijuana sales still a topic in Sussex County, the next town joining the conversation.
From the beaches to the bays, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News at 6 starts right now.
The Lewis Volunteer Fire Department struggling to recruit new volunteers. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with a story about how the cost of housing is hurting the Lewis Volunteer Fire Department.
If you have a fire, time is of the essence to save lives and property. The cost of housing in Lewis causes many volunteer firefighters to live farther from the station, sometimes making those response times longer. Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber introduces us to a volunteer who shares the extra stress of living far from the station, how that weighs on volunteers.
Ed Rush is prepping his gear ahead of a fire call. He is just one of the volunteers who has to drive to the station when a call comes in. The Lewis Volunteer Fire Department says they are facing a serious staffing issue, and many current volunteers live outside of city limits.
Now you can't, people can't really afford to live in the downtown area. It's really expensive. I mean, there's a house directly behind the firehouse that's either on the market or just sold for like $1.5 million. Your average volunteer firefighter can't afford to live in those types of houses, so we tend to be further out away from downtown, and where the houses are a little more affordable. But the further out you go, the longer it takes to get to the firehouse to respond to alarms.
The biggest concern is response times could be affected if more and more volunteers have to live outside of city limits. The longer the response time, the bigger fires can get. The good news is there are paid EMTs on staff at any time that can go to fires quickly. But a majority of calls are handled by volunteers like Rush. But living farther away can be disheartening for volunteers.
Well, again, the biggest thing is it's frustrating because even if you do make it to the firehouse, a lot of times there may be a couple people that get here first and the apparatus is already gone. So, you're working hard to get here, and, the first or second due apparatus is already on their way out. So you kind of have to wait for a few more people and, maybe take an additional apparatus. I mean, there's times when, a few of the guys are already gone on the first due engine and ladder. And so, I get down here by myself. I end up just taking the utility vehicle out just to help out when I get there.
Rush says volunteers are older because young firefighters simply cannot afford to be close. Lewis Mayor Andrew Williams says he wants to help find a way for volunteers to receive affordable housing.
We all have full-time, I happen to be retired, but most of them have full-time jobs. Some people have to have 2 jobs in order to live in the area. You have families. It's just a big time commitment. So to be able to afford living in an area like this is very tough.
Additionally, there are hopes that plans to renovate existing bunk rooms could incentivize volunteers to stay the night and take calls from the station.
When somebody needs the fire department, it's their worst day, and you're there to make it a little bit better. It's something I would highly recommend to anybody.
In Lewis, I'm Lisa Weber, Coast TV News.
In Delaware, there is only one fully funded fire department with all paid staff members. That's Wilmington. It's important to note that combination departments like Lewis get state and county funding. It does not cover all of their expenses, so they do rely on grants and donations.
And this is going to bring us right to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what would incentivize people to become volunteer firefighters. Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour.
One thing important to note here, right now there are tax breaks about $400 a year for volunteer firefighters. Some people say it should be more, that's 3%. There's also a $350 a month pension after 20 years of service when you're over 65. 17% of people think that should be more. 12% say more incentives or college credits, but 59% of our viewers have voted in. They believe it should just be paid altogether.
Yeah, that is the lion's share of the votes here. Now, you can participate in this poll. Just go to WRDE.com or go to our Coast TV mobile app. We'll show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11. Speaking of, Blades Volunteer Fire Company responded to a barn fire on Sunday morning at Hope Mill Farms. The video you see here is from the fire company, taken from a firefighter perspective, showing the fire burning inside the barn. Here are some more photos of the fire. We'll have them coming up. There you go. The damage that took place on Baker Mill Road. According to the fire company, there's heavy smoke coming out of the building. The back of the barn heavily damaged with bits of fire burning inside and severe damages inside the barn, as you can see on your screen. CoastTV News reached out to the fire company for the cause of the fire. We will provide an update once we get more information.
We are learning more about an accident in Dewey Beach that left a man in critical condition, pictured there. On Saturday, a Dover man who was identified through a GoFundMe page as Jonathan Fitzwater was hit while in the crosswalk on Rodney Avenue. The GoFundMe page says Fitzwater has a long road to recovery, but he is off the breathing tube. Dewey Beach police say the driver failed to stop at the crosswalk. His windshield and mirror were actually broken off his car, if you see that there. Phil Winkler, who witnessed the accident, says it was just scary for everyone.
Because it's dangerous to everybody. I'll have the light and somebody will just go right through it. And you go, how about if somebody's walked there not paying attention?
Dewey Beach police are asking people to look before they cross the street, even if they have the right of way and those crosswalk signs are flashing. Police are not sure if charges in that case will be filed at this time.
Delaware State Police says it's been investigating several thefts of golf carts throughout Sussex County. Troopers say they want to remind everybody to secure the golf carts they have and storage buildings as well, and to report any suspicious activity in the area.
As we take a live look now into Rehoboth Beach from the Boardwalk Plaza Hotel camera, an absolutely picture-perfect night out there. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our forecast. Paul, I think you appreciate having this weather after all last week.
Well, all last week was just horrendous because we were dealing with the tropical storm and all the residual effects of that. However, because of just how quiet it looks now compared to last week, everything's relative. We still have some very active waves because if you look at the people here and the waves are pretty tall when you compare the two together. Now, I only mention that because, listen, we actually have a small craft advisory that is still in effect for our area. So we're still mindful of about 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts that are likely from the Lewis Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, all the way down through Bottom Hills and along Coastal Highway, and then the small craft advisory. Now, also, these advisories have now been extended. They were going to expire this evening, but now they've been extended to Tuesday, possibly as late as 8 o'clock in the evening. Now, coming up, we'll take a look at when this will finally not be a concern for us, because this week is looking pretty good, and it'd be nice to get this out of the way so we can enjoy a whole lot of sunshine. Charlie?
The sound of that, Paul. The U.S. Department of Interior's Bureau of Ocean Energy Management is seeking public comment on its released environmental impact statement draft for a proposed Maryland offshore wind project. According to the department, the wind project could generate up to 2,200 megawatts of renewable energy for Delmarva, along with powering up to 770,000 homes. The proposal comes as part of the Biden-Harris administration's 30 gigawatts of offshore wind energy goal by 2030. The department says it will host 2 meetings at Ocean City Elementary and Indian River High School about the project, and public comments are due by November 20th.
Millions of phones across the country will sound an alarm this Wednesday. It's part of a national test of the wireless emergency alerts and the emergency alert system. According to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, these tests are expected to take place around 2:20 p.m. FEMA says cell phones on and within range of an active cell tower for all major wireless providers should receive those test alerts as long as the phones are on, even on vibrate. An alarm should still sound when the alert is received. It's important to note these are the types of alerts that many people said they did not get after that deadly tornado in April. So it's something many viewers have up top of mind. Again, that's happening Wednesday.
I remember that report. As Medicare open enrollment approaches, the Delaware Department of Insurance and Medicare Assistance Bureau says consumers can join, switch, or drop Medicare prescription drug plans or Medicare Advantage plan. The agency says people can join or change their Medicare plans from October 15th to December 7th. The Bureau says it has one-on-one assistance that can help customers determine coverage plans. In addition to schedule phone and virtual appointments, officials say that they are offering weekly appointments at all 3 Department of Insurance offices. That's from October 17th to November 30th. They say they are holding appointments in Georgetown, location on Wednesday from 9:30 to 3 p.m.
The Delaware Department of Health and Social Services says there are concerns about the potential increase in illegal drug use in the state. Here's why. That is due to a shortage of prescription drugs that manage people's health conditions like ADHD. According to the department, the shortage has left people struggling to access the medication they need and leading individuals to turn to illegal drugs as an alternative. Officials say prescribers must cross-reference prescription information with information available in state-run prescription drug monitoring programs, and patients and their family members should learn how to safely store and dispose of prescriptions to help reduce the increase.
Millsboro is the next town to join the conversation over what to do with marijuana-based businesses within town limits.
CoastTV News reporter Charles Reiner joins us live there in Millsboro. Charles, that talk is happening tonight.
Maddie and Charlie, it seems that for the past couple of months now, marijuana's been on the front of every single Sussex County town's minds. Now tonight here in Millsboro, the town council will be discussing the production and sale of the drug here in town. According to the town manager, the discussion will revolve around an ordinance that is yet to be passed, but would ban the sale of pot here in Millsboro. He also added that he believes several council members would support this ban, but not everyone thinks banning weed here in Millsboro is a good idea.
Why shouldn't they make it legal? We have a methadone clinic right out the road. So if you're going to get into drugs like that, what harm is marijuana?
We just want to remind everyone that per the bill that made recreational pot legal here in Delaware, every town and municipality has the authority to ban the sale, production, and cultivation of the drug within their jurisdictions. As for the discussion tonight, it will begin at 7 o'clock here at Town Center. I'm Charles Reiner, live in Millsboro, CoastTV News.
We have a lot more news to get to this evening. From the air, the South Bethany Canal looking clean, reminders the town has to keep it that way.
And the sunshine was a nice change of pace for today, but the winds are still at least a slight concern at this hour. More on that and your full forecast is forthcoming.
But first, a vial of life-saving blood, how the Blood Bank of Delmarva is able to receive more donations than ever. We're back in just 60 seconds.
What is unstoppable internet from Mediacom? Internet that doesn't stop breaking limits, going to 10G and making history. A network that doesn't stop growing, with more lanes to keep traffic flowing. Security that doesn't stop watching, that sees the threats and keeps you going. Homes and businesses that never stop. Network reliability that keeps you on top. It's Mediacom doing everything possible. So when it comes to your internet, you are unstoppable.
It's the annual Bath Spooktacular. Elevate your bathroom with a new walk-in shower system with Coastal Bath. The only Bath Planet dealer on Delmarva with a Good Housekeeping sealed 2-year money-back guarantee. Spend less time cleaning and scrubbing and get a maintenance-free shower. Mold and mildew resistant and a lifetime warranty. It's the annual Bath Spooktacular. Get a free shower door or $1,500 off, plus no payments and no interest for 18 months. Hurry before this offer disappears. Local and family owned. Call or visit coastalbaths.com today.
The first time in decades today, it marks the first day that people of all sexual orientations are going to be able to donate blood.
As CoastTV News reporter Tori Seagraves shows us, it's a day that marks the end of a long-fought battle by the local blood bank and LGBTQ community.
John Kelly sits down to donate blood, something he has not been able to do in the last 40 years because of his sexual orientation.
This is a big step forward, especially I think for people my age who have been donating in the past and were cut off. It was kind of, it was very disheartening to go in and try and give blood in 1983 and being told no.
Since the FDA announced that there would no longer be limitations to who could donate because of their sexual orientation, the Blood Bank of Delmarva has been preparing with new questionnaires and training staff to accept the new donors. Donors that can help end a current blood shortage.
You need to be at least 16, you have to weigh at least 110 pounds, you have to be in good general health, and then we'll answer all of the other questions together. But we are so happy to have this new kind of a new pipeline of donors coming through.
Camp Rehoboth says this step towards equality is a long time in the making, but one that ends a long-standing stigma against the LGBTQ community.
This is a victory that we celebrate when any form of discrimination is fallen by the wayside. We know there are, some biases even in our own community of folks who might not want to donate because they haven't been able to for decades. But at the end of the day, this is life-saving measures that we are able to provide.
Saving lives while giving purpose back to others.
It's a great thing to do, and I feel I'm very happy to be able to donate again.
The Blood Bank of Delmarva and Camp Rehoboth will be holding a blood drive here on November 11th. I'm Tori Seagraves in Rehoboth Beach, Coast TV News.
Well, the coast is being accosted by blustery winds that are prompting still some additional advisories for tonight and now, inclusive of tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in your full forecast coming up.
Now at Hardee's, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Choose one of 5 flavors for endless combinations, including new Nashville Hot. 2 wraps, just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Get exclusive offers on the Hardee's app.
If you need a new mattress, get to Johnny Janosic's factory authorized mattress event. For a limited time, get factory direct pricing up to $1,000 off select mattress sets. Plus, free removal and same-day delivery is available. We have the best brands and hundreds of mattresses in stock, so you can buy it today and take it home today. Get a $300 in-store credit with any Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest Black, or Stearns & Foster set purchase. Shop the factory authorized mattress event at Johnny Janosic.
If you're watching this, odds are you're someone who's looking to learn a new skill to level up your career, or you're an employer looking for specialized training and credentials for your employees. Like working with your hands? We offer HVAC, construction, welding, and even heavy equipment operation. We can teach you how to maintain the water quality in your community, or get your commercial driver's license. All this opportunity is just a few clicks away.
The Ducks classic hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The Duck on 107.1, 105.1, and 104.3. The station where you know the words to every song.
Download the free WRDE weather app built by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
Make dinner good tonight with Hardee's new chicken tender platters. Crunchy, juicy tenders, all dipped in buttermilk and hand-breaded. With a thick slice of garlicky Texas toast, seasoned crinkle fries, slaw, and choice of sauce. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Coastal Comfort is your premier Carrier factory authorized dealer. That means not only do you receive the highest quality product, you also receive the biggest savings. With purchase of a qualified Carrier system, you could get back up to $1,550 instantly with Carrier Cool Cash. And you could also qualify for up to $2,000 federal tax credit. Call us today while the savings are hot. Coastal Comfort, we're the experts because we earned it. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Late Night with Seth Meyers. Late nights on Coast TV.
We've enjoyed the sunshine, and the blue skies are a nice change of pace compared to last week, but the winds are still a bit of a nuisance at this point. Ocean City right now, winds out of the east at 3 miles per hour at 71 degrees. Now, this is courtesy of our Hershey's exterior camera, but take a look at the trend that we've had. Now, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we were well below the norm, but look at how we've escalated for the last couple of days. And a couple of our folks that are behind the scenes were asking, well, why was it so warm on Sunday versus Saturday? Cloud cover makes a big difference. It's like staying in the shade all day versus being in the sunlight all day. That's the shortest way of talking about the thermodynamic exchange of energy. So, yeah, that was a lot. I'm back to not nerding out on you now. Here we go. Small craft advisory is active along the coast. Now, this has been extended to Tuesday now, not just tonight, but Tuesday till 6 o'clock in the morning from, let's say, Rehoboth down towards Ocean View. But it's also been extended till Tuesday evening for, let's say, Ocean City all the way down towards Chincoteague. And what a small craft advisory means, in simplest terms, looking for about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts really along the entire shoreline. So we want to be very mindful of that. We have a trough that's pushing through. And winds that are going to predominantly come out of the northeast as a result of the perfect positioning of that high pressure system. Those winds are going to knife its way out of the north, so we're looking at somewhat of a cool breeze, but all the sunshine is going to make up for it. As far as tonight is concerned, we're looking for mainly clear skies. Temps in the mid-50s, for example, in Georgetown. Upper 50s to low 60s over towards Federalsburg, but then over towards Ocean City, 60 degrees, Chincoteague 60 degrees, Berlin 57. Now let's talk about the winds. Coming out of the southeast by Wednesday, but only 15 to 16 miles per hour. So finally we get a break. Hopefully we'll get out of that situation where we're dealing with, concerns with wind advisories, but that'll kick back in by next Monday. So we're going to keep that on the back burner. As far as Tuesday is concerned, sunshine, and then by the afternoon near 80 degrees. Wednesday morning, 55, 56. Then by Wednesday afternoon, we're at 81 in Georgetown, Millsboro, and 77 in Berlin, for example. Take a look at the next 3 days. Listen, we're expecting for it to stay bright and sunny all the way up the shore without any problems with significant winds of any type. Here's a look at your extended forecast right here, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Now, we do have a 30% chance of rain on Friday and a 60% chance of rain on Saturday.
Paul, thank you. The town of South Bethany wants to share a few tips to help beautify and protect canals in the area since fall is here. The town wants people to check to see if anything was damaged on their property by the winds from Tropical Storm Ophelia. Town officials advise people to cut their grass low and to keep clippings out of canals. They say pull out weeds and instead of spraying them. The town is also asking people check your bulkheads. Any missing or damaged boards on docks on bulkheads needs to be replaced.
The holiday season will be here before we know it, and that means that the return of Draper Media's Bless Our Children campaign is here. Through generous donations from businesses and individuals, we do our best to make sure that every child has a present to open on Christmas morning. And we do that by supporting nonprofits that handpick families in need, groups like the Boys and Girls Club, for example. Applications for nonprofits like that are now open. They're due no later than October 31st.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Welcome into our first sports hit of October, and up in Philadelphia, it's another red one. The Titans finished the season 90-72 yesterday and host the Marlins tomorrow night in Game 1 of the NL Wild Card Series. As Phils fans know, this is no sure proposition. Miami was 7-6 against the Phillies this season, and the Fish took a 3-game set up at Citizens Bank the last time these two teams met. First pitch from the city of brotherly love is scheduled for 8:08 p.m. on ESPN tomorrow night. Jesus Luzardo gets the start against Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. And a sad 24 hours for Boston sports fans. After the news broke that former Red Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield passed away at the age of 57 yesterday, it's been confirmed that former Patriots Pro Bowl tight end Russ Francis was killed in a plane crash. The accident occurred up in Lake Placid, New York, Sunday afternoon and claimed the life of Francis and one other. Francis was a 3-time Pro Bowler from 1976 to 78 with the Patriots. As for our coverage tonight, tune into DSN at 8 for Worcester Prep and Delmarva Christian Boys Soccer. The Royals looking to hand the Mallards their first loss in ECAC play this season. That'll do it for sports.
Soaring Over the Shore is brought to you by Morse Roofing and Siding.
A small town with constant nationwide recognition, Berlin is one of the best places to be on the peninsula.
47 buildings in Berlin are on the National Register of Historic Places, and 2 blockbuster movies were filmed here, Tuck Everlasting and Runaway Bride. This land used to be the Burley Plantation. Colonial travelers are said to have stopped at the Burley Inn, and that's where the name Berlin is believed to have come from. The town's main street feels like a step back in time, but with modern restaurants and shopping. Berlin's website says in the 19th century, it became a popular spot for tourists who wanted to hunt or fish or stop on the way to OC. Once declared the coolest small town in America and on Smithsonian's top 20 to visit, Berlin is a small town with a big heart.
Well, Tommy, here's another roof I got to get done today.
Leave this one to me, Tom.
Got that one done.
You got the next one.
There's good.
There's better. And then there's more.
The American black duck is an iconic species, well known throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. Although the population is currently stable, they're well below their population goals and they're considered a species of concern. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service looks to increase and restore black duck habitat throughout the Delmarva Peninsula.
I utilize the Working Lands for Wildlife program to help transform a low-lying wet area into waterfowl habitat.
To learn more about the Working Lands for Wildlife program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
With Food Lion Feeds, I get to give back in ways I never imagined.
What are you doing? I'm picking tomatoes.
From growing fresh produce for our neighbors in need, to remodeling local pantries so we can help even more people. But my favorite thing is delivering hot meals to make Miss Baker's day.
What's your favorite? That looks delicious.
Here to fill tables and hearts with hope. Food Lion Feeds, here for every moment.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, embrace heartwarming mom moments. Learn pivotal self-defense tactics to get home safely. Plus, continue our Halloween DIY journey with a candy corn wreath project. Coast Life tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
Cap off the season with the 4 best days of fall at Sunfest. Experience the ultimate celebration of food, drinks, arts, crafts, and entertainment along the boards from October 19th to the 22nd. Embrace fall with a variety of fun activities, including beach bonfires, corn maze, tractor rides, and pet and bicycle events. Shop around over 200 arts and crafts vendors. Immerse yourself in music with an incredible lineup of free musical performances. Enjoy free family fun all day. Visit oceocean.com/sunfest for more.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Sunshine for Tuesday and Wednesday, as well as Thursday, then a 30% chance rain on Friday, 60% chance rain on Saturday. But keep note, by the time we get into next week, we're looking at 47, 48, and 49. So get your sweater ready.
Sweater weather. Thank you, Paul. I can't do the accent. And thank you for watching us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
Sweater weather. We're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.